Cycle TV in association with MTK Global, joined by Eddie Hearn. Summertime Brawl.
Brawl, not
Ball.
Ball. Where were you yesterday, mate, when the beef kicked off?
We had a little
You were like...
Rat Boy, didn't we? Rat Boy was on it. Yeah. Fight for further down the line? How further down the line?
Oh, what, a Cody Chamberlain? No, we've got to build that properly. I mean, one's 3-0, never gone into the second round. Will Russell Henshaw take him into the second round on Saturday? Will he beat him? And Isaac's, what, 7-0? About to go 8-0, hopefully. So, Isaac, when I sat down with him before the beef started yesterday, I said to him, Isaac said to me, do you think it's an 0-2 fight? And I said, mate, at the moment, it's a your call fight. I said, but we build it properly, we never know. And then after it all happened, I went up to Isaac and I said, don't rule out the 0-2, son. Build it properly, let them learn. When you gamble for big money. You don't gamble for 10 or 15 grand. You gamble for big money. Do it in there, that little place there, that little canopy over there.
I couldn't really see it because of the light.
It's a big London fight between two very good young cruiserweights with big following.
What do I have to ask you something? Do you know how many people, not just this, but they think, yeah, you know when like there's a bit of beef,
yeah,
but they think it's all like people, you're in a room with these people, whoever, like Hey Bellew or whoever, and going, right, you go up to him, you swing a punch, you do this.
I'll tell you what happened, we were about 20 yards away and I went over to Lawrence, started talking to him, then I went over to Isaac, and then Lawrence came over and went, when are you going to make this? I thought, oh, but Isaac was sitting down. So he started going like this, and then Isaac stood up, and there was nothing. Some big lumps there, though. My arse fell out a few times, but you go, when you've dealt with Dylan and Chisora, you've kind of got a good experience, and it's not really going to get much more beef than Chisora White, is it?
You should never have said that. You never know. Well, you never know.
I'm sure we're going to get plenty of beef, and exciting beef, but when there's people slinging tables at your head, it's high level shit.
Yeah, that was a great day.
I just realised there's people up on the roof, and I was thinking, what the fuck? But then I realised it's that skywalk thing, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Summertime Brawl. Frank Buglioni defending his British title against Ricky Summers. If he is successful, how realistic is that with Cleverly?
Well, I'm hoping to complete the Cleverly Jack fight, but Frank, it's funny, when I think he wasn't best pleased with my introduction, which is that he's a bit of a sort of older gentleman now in British boxing, but he has been around in some big fights, and when you look at the young kids coming through, he is a more experienced guy. So I still like the Jose Burton rematch. I think that's a fight that I'd like to see again, and I like Buglioni against Cleverly. I think Frank's going to have a couple more fights. Then European title and world title are, of course, fights that he wants to look for. With Frank Buglioni, you always know you're going to get a great fight. And I think with Ricky Summers, you've got a fighter who's, 14, 15-0, undefeated. I mean, you have to put it into context. Ricky Summers came up to me about 10 minutes ago. And and this isn't any bullshit, we like to look after the fighters, yeah? We stay in nice places. I think we've got a good reputation for that. Ricky Summers comes up to me just then and says, mate, thank you so much for this hotel. It's unbelievable. When we're in the Intercontinental at the O2, and if you've been here, the spa's unbelievable. The pool, the food, everything. Lovely linen on the beds. He said, I can't believe, thank you so much for all me and all my team in here. I said, listen, it's what you're fighting for. You win on Saturday, you got that again. So, for him, this is a chance to go out there and make a name for himself. Whether he's good enough or not, we'll see. Whether he can not freeze, which is another concern, when you're fighting at the O2 on Sky Sports, is another concern. But also, fights for Ted Cheeseman and Reece Bellotti, it's time now. They've had their little apprenticeship, they've had a couple of gimmies at the start, they've been through the English titles, box at the O2, couple of pay-per-view cards. Now it's get in there, son, and no armbands this time. That's what we want to see.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, but you've had your apprenticeship, now it's time to find out. And all these boys who get these little fights at the start of their careers, 1 and 2 fights, and, you might get a little Hungarian or a Latvian and you hit him and he goes over and you think, that was all right. I always say to them when they come out, enjoy that, because it's going to get a lot tougher. They're the nights we actually sit back and go, that was a touch, wasn't it? Because when you come out and you've got a perforated eardrum and your face is all cut up and your nose is busted and you feel sick after the fight, remember the ones that were a bit easier back in the day. And now it's time for Cheeseman against Matthew Ryan. He's fighting the champion. Pat Barrett and the boys are coming down tomorrow. It's a really good fight. Jamie Spate with Reece Bellotti again. Let's find out. I want Cheeseman and Bellotti and those guys to fight for British titles in the next fight, or the maximum, the one after that.
Plenty of young sauce on the bill.
Sauce. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about sauce, I think sauce is important. And I don't know if you saw Lawrence Okode's Instagram post this morning where people was talking about the difference between juice and sauce. You know? But
I haven't seen, I've heard about it.
You can have a really nice juice. This is what the guy said. You could have a really nice juice, but you put it in the fridge. But after a while, like, the juice just sort of, the goodness sinks to the bottom, and you have to keep shaking it up, and like after 3 or 4 days, it ain't the same juice, is it? But with a good sauce, you know, that can stay in there for years, you know, and it's going to maintain its thickness, its texture. And I feel like we have the top sauce in British boxing. Not just the Coley, because I mean, he's the king of sauce, because he made it up. Well, he didn't make it up, but top to bottom sauce is what we're doing, is what we're working with here. And I am so blessed. You know, I Instagrammed the picture the other night of Josh, Caldina and BUATSI.
Do you know who took that picture?
You? And I looked at that picture and I thought, fuck me, I'm a lucky boy. And not just those, but, you know, Fowler, Kelly, you know, Coley, but all the boys, you know. And I keep saying to them, with us, it's so easy. It's a yellow brick road. It ain't snakes and ladders. All you have to do is keep following it, just paving to paving. All you have to do is win. And I say the same thing even to AJ now. Just keep winning, mate. And everything else is taken care of. If you are good enough, if you have the sauce, you can make bundles in this game with us. But you've got to be able to fight. You've got to be willing to take the challenges. You've got to have the sauce. But you've got to keep winning. That is paramount. Just keep winning and keep looking good. And all these guys, they've got it all in front of them. What more could you ask for as a sportsman, as a fighter? It's a shit business. It's full of arseholes. So, you don't want that, do you? Let me train hard, let me put my body through it. You give me the opportunities, I'll win. You make me rich.
Thinking of video titles. Right, Joshua-KLITSCHKO. Heading to Vegas. Well, front runner is
It's
Vegas.
irrelevant for you, really, isn't it? I mean,
what?
Have we still gone down the art? What was the name? Kristen.
Do you remember the name?
The guy he's got to be when he dresses up for the Klitschko-Joshua.
Thorsten.
Robert Thorsten?
Robert Thorsten.
Yeah. I spoke to Benn yesterday and he said to me, if you think you're going to slip KUGAN in fancy dress for this fight, you are mistaken.
You are joking, aren't you?
Yes. Where are we going with it? I spoke to Benn yesterday and I think Vlad wants a special event. You know, like he just did 90,000 at Wembley. I can't tell you, he loved it. He loved the event, he loved the British fans, he loved the fight, the experience.
The journalists.
Just like you. Yeah. And I think he wants something, another memory like that. Of course he wants the money. But it's more than that. It's more about where is it, how big is it, what boundaries are we breaking, you know, and Vegas appeals to him a lot. He's more than happy to go to Nigeria for a fight as well, UAE, China. But I think Vegas is the front runner. Nigeria is some serious interest from a couple of people, but the logistics are a lot more difficult, obviously. And with Vegas, you know, obviously you go in, you've got T-Mobile Arena, you've got the hotels, you've got the commission. And something about like taking, 20,000 Brits. Just wait 1 second on.
Who's
Sorry,
that?
picking back up.
Who was that?
I can't tell you. It's a very private call.
About a fight?
Possibly.
What weight?
I'm not saying.
So Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
How many does it take?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of taking 15,000, 20,000 over there appeals to me. Listen, in an ideal world, we'd keep it here. But if it means Klitschko not taking the fight and we have to travel, we'll do that. So, still probably a couple of weeks away from knowing for sure. But
percentage of levels that he will definitely fight?
I think in the right venue, I'm very, very
So you basically got
confident.
to sell it to him?
No, he wants to see where it's going to be. He wants to see the numbers before he makes his decision. But you know, everything that I'm being told is you know, if it's the right event, I believe he wants to fight, you know, and of course the money's there. But if it's the right event, the right experience, I think he'll take the fight.
2 questions. Is it still a co-promotion like on the last fight? Exactly the same?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
I'm not joking about that idea about dressing you up.
Okay, I am. But, so, would you advise, say it was Vegas, would you advise that I get on a plane?
Yes.
Why would you advise that?
Because we'll, you know,
One of them?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Okay, Nigel, Benn and Steve Collins.
Yes.
Looks like it may be happening.
Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with it, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I knew about it. I mean, Nigel was in the other day talking to me and my dad. My dad thought it was a wind-up. He said to Nigel, don't be daft, you're 55 or whatever it is. But, no, listen, Nigel is the top guy. It's his decision. He knows what he's doing. It's just not for us, you know. I don't think a 55-year-old guy should be boxing. I don't think they'll get a licence for the British Boxing Board of Control. And that's the board that govern the sport here. So, just like when they've got such a great legacy, why tarnish it? It's a bit like Roy Jones. You know, like everything that Roy Jones did, it's kind of forgotten about. And I feel like that, you know, this fight will affect that. Maybe they don't care about that, but I'm not overly comfortable with it. I don't think anybody in boxing would be comfortable with that. But I understand, like, your casual fan, a man in a pub, I'd like to see that. A couple of 50-year-olds having a tear up, but...
Is Ben Collins more competitive than Mayweather-McGregor?
Competitive, yeah, because it's 2 55-year-old geezers who were in a good fight then. They're probably going to be in a good fight now, but they're not. Like, they're going to be half the fighter they were. So why do you want to see that when they were such great fighters? But listen, can't knock it. Each their own.
Right, when we did our chat the other day, someone we didn't speak about through no fault, but Dave Allen, spoke to Dave Allen the other day. He didn't take it too personally. What's going on with Dave Allen?
So Dave Allen's fighting in July.
Tom Dallas.
Twice, yeah. I spoke to Michael Marsden yesterday, who's his manager. I'd quite like sticking back in with Leroy Thomas.
Really?
If I can get that fight, yeah, it's going to cost me a few quid, but I'm thinking about a show maybe in Sheffield in September, and I told Marsden yesterday.
Headline by?
Not Kelbrook.
No,
and Dave Allen would be perfect for that. And I want to, after he's had those 2 fights in July, he should jump back into a big title fight. So whether that's Leroy Thomas or someone different, he'll be on that card.
Okay. Not a next gen show.
No, it's not.
What would you be going to Sheffield with?
We've got a few plans at the moment.
Just
I'll let you know, old boy.
Run through me your potential dates for September.
Well, September 2nd was a potential date here at the O2. Not sure about that. 16th.
Why aren't you sure about that?
Because I need to get the right fight, which I've been working. I'm not sure we get that. September 16th, possibly. That could be Sheffield. September the 30th in Liverpool. October, we're looking to go to Newcastle, probably Belfast. Monte Carlo on November the 4th. JOSHUA-KLITSCHKO could be the 11th or the 18th of November. And then moving into December, Bellew, potentially.
Any movement with that?
No, I spoke to Andre Ward's guys last night. They want the Bellew fight. Bellew wants that fight as well, but I'm just not sure how the numbers can stack up. But we shall see. But like, although this is the final show of the summer, of the season, now all the hard work starts for September, October, and it's been a busy period. You know, we had Campbell kicked it off. We had McDonald fighting for a world title. Then we had Bellew. We had Crolla Linares. We had Burns against Ndongo in a unification. We had Joshua against Klitschko. We had Groves against Chudinov. We had Brook against Spence. We had Lee Haskins against Ryan Burnett. We had Kalya defending his world title. So it's been a mad 6 months, and now the plan is to keep raising the bar, and it's very difficult. So the summer was really spent on moving that on and making sure we got a great end of the year.
We spoke about BUATSI.
No.
Finally, BUATSI making his debut.
Yep.
I think everyone's interested in
seeing.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, I think he's probably the standout at the Olympics. You know, certainly from the British team. I remember watching him with my old man in the lounge, and he was like, "You have to sign this kid. Balance, power. It's going to be a great pro." And I'm looking forward to the journey. I think he's a great fighter, and just part of the incredible stable that we're building at the moment, and so many potential world champions, and it all starts for Joshua BUATSI on Saturday, managed by AJ, who will be there, working for Sky as well. So it's exciting times. I think you're going to see a very special fighter.
Eddie, thank you very much for your time for TV. See you tomorrow.